her. The exploder who blames others, this is what we have to keep in the top of our mind. We need to attack the issues, not the person. And it's so hard when that emotion comes bubbling up and flies out of our mouth and it starts to create chaos. And we start blaming and attacking the other person when really we just need to keep our focus on attacking the issues, not the person. You see, in that moment of conflict, we need to bring something if we're an exploder that blames others. And the thing that we need to bring right into that moment before we react. And what's so amazing is we have a choice in that moment how we're going to react. Many of us feel like we don't have a choice. We just feel like we're a slave to our emotions, and whatever we're feeling at that moment is what's going to be on display for all the world to see. But we do have a choice, and in that moment, right before we react, we must bring a pause. Pause. And let the Holy Spirit intervene in our natural flesh response. Here's our verse, Proverbs 10:19. When words are many, sin is not absent. And you know, to me, when words are many, they come very fast. So when words are many or fast, sin is not absent. But he who holds his tongue is wise. The exploder who blames others. Reaction number 2, the exploder who shames themselves. I can be this reaction with the lady at the lost luggage counter at the airport. So I land somewhere, I'm wearing yoga pants and a t-shirt with a nasty food stain on it, and I'm very excited because I know I've got a much better outfit in my suitcase, and I need a much better outfit to speak in because if I stand up under these lights in yoga pants, my cellulite will show, and that is just not acceptable, okay? So I need my outfit, and I stand there and watch everyone else get all of their outfits, but not me because my luggage doesn't come. So I go to the lady at the lost luggage counter at the airport, and as I walk toward her office, I smile really big because I just assume that she is going to be happy to do her job. That's what I think. Yes. And so I walked toward her. You are the person that can help me, and I'm so happy. And then she puts her hand up like this and says, don't even come in here until you look over there in that pile and see if your luggage is over there. No, she didn't. So I turn and I go, and my luggage is not there. I can see that it's not there. I don't need to dig in the pile to see that my luggage is not there. It's not there. And so I go back, and I know she's going to be happy this time because I followed her rule. I look through the pile, and then she puts her hand up again. Because this time she's on her cell phone with her boyfriend. And suddenly I feel as if the justice of the world is hanging in the balance of this moment. And I know, because I'm a rule follower, that you're not supposed to be on your cell phone at work. That's not right. No, it's not. And I don't want everybody at the airport to hear me, but I want her to hear me. And so I say to her, look, I need you to do your job. And it is not acceptable that you're on the cell phone right now. No, it's not, because you see, I'm about to have to go stand on a stage and speak, and they have lights, and I have on my yoga pants, and my cellulite's going to show. Yes, you see, this is not acceptable. I need you to help me find my luggage. I need you to help me find my luggage right now because it's your job. And then an hour later, I'm driving in the car, and I start thinking about this incident. And I think about my sweet friend, like Carrie, for example, how she would have been so sweet to this woman. That she would have been so sweet in that lost luggage office, and I wasn't sweet, and I start feeling bad. And I assumed that Carrie would have been very, very, very sweet. She would have probably been so sweet. She would have won this woman to Jesus, and then we could make a video about it and show it at church. That's what we could do. And I start comparing how wonderful her reaction probably would have been to my reaction that was awful, and I'm the exploder who shames myself. And I just carry that weight of shame and think to myself, It's just how I am. I'm never going to get any better. I'm just always going to have these reactions. But that's a lie. Because you see, in that moment, right before we react, the exploder who blames others needed to bring a pause. The exploder who shames themselves, we need to bring perspective. And we can bring perspective by asking ourselves a very simple question. If this is the worst thing that happens to me today, isn't it still a pretty good day? Like, if the worst thing that happens to me today is that I have to wear yoga pants and a nasty t-shirt with a food stain on it while I speak and my cellulite shows, like, if that is the worst thing that happens to me today, isn't it still a pretty good day? And that perspective, bringing that in right before I react, it changes the way that I react. Here's our verse, Proverbs 12 this time, Proverbs 12, verse 16. A fool shows his annoyance at once, but a prudent person, a wise person, a perspective-driven person, but a prudent person overlooks an insult. A fool shows his annoyance at once, but a prudent person overlooks an insult. And my goodness, shouldn't we be people that overlook a few more insults? Reaction number 3, the stuffer who builds barriers. The stuffer who builds barriers. I can be this kind of reaction with my friends because I don't want to address the hard stuff. I don't want to tell my friends that there are these issues we need to talk about because maybe I don't want all the drama or maybe I don't know how to address it. And so instead of addressing an issue sometimes with certain friends, I'll just start withdrawing from the relationship and just put up a little wall, a barrier. And I think that I'm acting a little more Christian this way because it seems a little more Christian to just stuff it down than to explode it out. But that's not true, because when I build a barrier, when I refuse to communicate, when I refuse to address some of the hard stuff, I start shutting the communication down in that relationship. And when we shut communication down, we shut the potential for intimacy down. And when we shut the potential for intimacy down, we start to shut the entire relationship down as we withdraw and build a barrier. And a wall goes up. And then our friend says, "What's wrong?" Because they know something's wrong. But the classic stuffer answer is, "Oh, nothing, I'm fine. We have some stuffers." The stuffer who builds barriers. So if we're not supposed to build a barrier, what are we supposed to do? Establish boundaries. Because you see, boundaries open up the communication, which opens up the potential for intimacy, which opens up the relationship and its potential to be long-lasting. So how do you not build a barrier but establish a boundary? How do you do that? Well, let's say I have this friend who always runs late, okay? Now, here's what I want you to do. You probably have your friend here who always runs late. Don't look at her right now, okay? Just don't do that. Keep your eyes up here. Don't poke her. Don't text her. Don't tweet about her right now. No. Like, are you listening? This is you. Don't do that. Okay. So I have this friend that's always running late. And if I'm building a barrier, this is what will happen. She will say, "Do you want to ride to the event at church tonight?" And I will say to her, "Oh, I would love to ride to the church event tonight with you. I would, but you see, before I go there, I have errands to run." That's what I have. They are boring errands. They are the boringest errands. Yes, they are one-person boring errands that I have to run before I go to the church, so I cannot ride with you at all. No, I cannot do that. And we don't ever address the real situation. But if we are establishing boundaries, this is what we can say to her. "I would love to ride with you, but you see, I have this little thing in my life. It's my issue. It's that I panic if I'm not on time. I know it's a terrible issue, but I have it, okay? And so, you see, here's the thing. Like sometimes when we ride together, you like to be